The billows of smoke show that hard work is being done. It is only by fire that steel is strengthened. Fire refines, it purifies, and it hardens. In the Steel City at the confluence of the three rivers, Pittsburgh has forged itself into a contender, hammered into shape by a quarterback change, and the fires of games in November test the metal. It stresses any weakness, and today, here come the Irish, who cannot afford to be burned again in what looks like the last big hurdle between Notre Dame and a return to the playoff. Hey, it's a day of fiery furnaces, a couple in the SEC, Texas and Georgia, Sooners and Tide, playoff cases solidified or incinerated. So who will refuse to melt in the face of a blowtorch of pressure? I know maybe Pitt's ACC games are bigger, but it doesn't feel like it this morning. Legendary programs, the Fighting Irish against the Panthers, and hail the Pitt on this morning. They've been ready for days, and they're always ready for football in this city where some of the greatest legends ever to play this sport called home. Bradshaw, Swan, Mean Joe Green, Rocky Blyer, Notre Dame alum, and of course, the Panthers' rich history, Marino, Fitzgerald, Hugh Green, Mark May, and Aaron Donald, who will have his jersey retired today. What a scene mid-November for a high-stakes game between the Pitt Panthers and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Oh, jeez. A lot of that. A lot of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Yes,
Great
sir.
to have you with us on College Game Day. Rece Davis, along with Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, Nick Saban, and I mentioned this city has produced some of the greats ever to play this game, including the pride of this city, Patt McAfee. You sold out to play Pat McAfee, everybody.
Now, I think I can say this because I was born and raised in the East Hills of this city in Plumboro, Pennsylvania, where the ballers ball and the players playing. We're all Mustangs here, and shout out to them. Welcome to beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, people. Now, when you hear the word Pittsburgh, there's probably numerous things that come to your mind. Certainly one of them has to be that this is a tough people town, okay? That's because we're a blue-collar town, and everybody knows that we birthed basically every other city with the steel that we created here. But right over our shoulders here is the Allegheny River, and then on the other side over there is the Monongahela. They come together to form the Ohio River, which is the point in the most beautiful, picturesque thing in the United States of America, I will say. So since the Allegheny and the Monongahela come together for the Ohio River, we birthed Ohio, too. You're welcome for that here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But you also think to yourself, well, that's a damn good sports town. And you'd be right. Now, it's not just a sports town, even though we got the history in abundance. We even have baseball history. Paul Skeens just won the Cy Young. He's the best player in baseball. That's sick. And although the team might be absolute... Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Sell the team.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, what's going on with the Pirates is they don't spend any money, so they never actually win, you see. And we got Paul Skeens, so we would like to go on a historic run in PNC Park, the most beautiful ballpark in all of MLB.
I agree.
But although the team might be putting ass in glass right now, the history of the Pirates is deep. Kirk Herbstreit, tell these people about the Pittsburgh Pirates and the influence they have on the entire sport of baseball, please.
Well, they do. I mean, you go back to Roberto Clemente, but my era was 1979, We Are Family. Willie Stargell, Phil Garner, Tim Foley, Bill Madlock, Mike Easler, Omar Marino, the Cobra, Dave Parker, Ed Ott, John Candelaria, Kent Tekulve. That's a great team in 1979.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Please don't forget. Yes, thank you. Jason Kendall's, Pop time.
Yeah.
Insane. Then you talk about winning World Series. Let's go to hockey. Wait, you're a baseball guy. You got something to say.
When I was 9 years old, I had my little transistor radio up when Bill Mazeroski hits a home run to beat the Yankees in the World Series.
Hey, Bill's got a statue right over there. I mean, as he should. And then hockey, we've become Hockey Town. The home of Mario Lemieux, Yarmer Yager, Tommy Barrasso, and then Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. And let's not talk about the unsung heroes that might not be nationally known. Max Talbot won the Pittsburgh Penguins a Stanley Cup in 2009 with 2 goals in Game 7. Then he took Lord Stanley down to the South Side, and we all drank out of that thing like the city won the Stanley Cup, not just the Penguins. And then obviously, when you think of Pittsburgh, you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The NFL team here is stupendous. The history is outrageous. Obviously, legends of the game from the steel curtain all the way through today. Whenever you think of Pittsburgh, you can't help but think of the black and gold, the black and yellow, the Pittsburgh Steelers running roughshod all over the league. And when you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, there was a time when Rooney was asked by the league, hey, we want to start branding teams. We want to get a little bit more notoriety for our league. So we want to call you guys the Pittsburgh Steelers, America's team. Because people from Pittsburgh who worked in the steel mill would then go across the rest of the country to help them build their mills. And there were Steelers fans everywhere. You guys are America's team. Rooney looked him in the eye and said, we're not America's team. We're Pittsburgh's team, brother. Everybody that's from here is proud of being from here. And there's a little bit more pride, it seems, for the people that represent the university of this place, Pitt. Now, Pitt has deep history as well, and their medical stuff is outrageously good. They've changed the world with what their university has done. It's in Oakland, which is not far from here, but their football team has greatness written through the entire history of it. Legends of this game have passed through the University of Pittsburgh, and now they have an opportunity with a freshman quarterback to knock Notre Dame off track for a CFP and go on and win an ACC. And Paisano Narduzzi says this team is just like the city it represents. If you want to fight, let's fight. And that's Pitt football, and Notre Dame is coming to town today, and this is the right place to be on the right Saturday. And we're learning something special about what a sport can do to unify a hard-nosed place. Shout out to Pittsburgh, shout out to Pitt, and P-I-T-T. All right, and then I heard
that hurt.
Reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sorry. And then the last one that you'll love around. Are they singing the whole song?
Seems like it.
All right, now with me. Country road. Let's have a Saturday. Thanks. Sorry about that, Rece. Sorry about that,
Just force of habit on that one thing.
And I thought I was going to sneak in Country Roads in there.
It's going to be a great scene at Acrisure Stadium.
Stop that! Stop it!
I know a lot of you saw this week, Patt Narduzzi, the coach of Pitt, was asked, is this a must-win game against Notre Dame? Right. He said he'd rather lose 110-10 and win the next 2 ACC games. That's the path into the playoff. But there are some must-win games for a lot of teams around the country.
Yeah, certainly at this stage of the season, there's going to be teams that have to win or pick up another loss and effectively eliminate them from either their conference title or the college football playoff as a whole. So certainly gut check time for a lot of teams. And I think what Coach Narduzzi said was he was trying to take the pressure off the boys. Let them know, like, hey, game day's coming to town. There's going to be a lot of hype. I think Jerome, Bettis, and the boys from the Steelers team are going to be here because obviously he has Notre Dame roots. So there's going to be a lot of people people in the building. Notre Dame's going to be here. They're 12.5-point favorites. We can lose by 100 points and it's A-okay. Now, he walked those back and he said, I'm a paisan. Every once in a while, I'm going to say some stuff and I'm going to have to come back. And we love Coach Narduzzi for that. But for Notre Dame, this is a must-win. I mean, this is a must-win game. And what they know and what everybody knows at this point is Pitt is no stranger to being a massive derailer of a season that has high hopes. I've experienced that personally for a majority of my life. I've thought about it every single day. In Miami in 2017, they come in here as 10-point favorites, I believe, and whenever they were going on a run to win the national championship, and Pitt beats them. So my question for you, Coach Saban, is whenever you have a team that's in a must-win situation with a lot of hype, does the message change? Like, what is Coach Freeman telling the boys who can certainly ruin everything they've worked for with a loss today to Pitt?
Yeah, but when you think about it, every game is a must-win. So how do you get away from putting the emphasis on that game? I used to always tell our players, it's going to be about what we do. When we look at this film on Monday, it's going to be the mistakes we made, how we technically executed and went out and dominated your box. And that's what you need to focus on, the little things you need to do to play well so you have a chance to be successful, not on the outcome. I tried to stay away from the outcomes, and saying it was a big win was too much emphasis on the outcome for me.
Yeah, it's always about the process. I'm a process-oriented guy. But when I saw Narduzzi say that, I was like, man, is he crazy? But they're like, maybe he's crazy like a fox. Because what it does as a player, it takes all the pressure off of his guys. They can just go out there and play free. But it also puts pressure on Marcus Freeman in Notre Dame, because we all know they don't have a conference championship game. So every single game is a play-in game for Notre Dame. And then Marcus was asked about the comment, and he said, well, you know, this is not a trap game. You know, he's getting the coach speak, talking about this is going to be a highly contested game. These guys are great. It puts a lot of pressure, in my opinion, back on Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman.
Chess?
Yeah, no chess.
But I think Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, I mean, you sign on that dotted line to be the head coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You're dealing with pressure every single day. So, and they deal with that after losing their first two games. They've been dealing with that every single week. This is just, I feel like the stakes are up. I mean, you got a huge crowd. It's sold out. It's a big day for Pitt, but Notre Dame will show up. Also in the ACC, Duke and Virginia, massive game for both of those teams. The SEC, we just talked about two of these games. We see Georgia hosting Texas. Both these teams really need this win. And, of course, Oklahoma and Alabama. Oklahoma, I think it was you were talking about John Mateer.
Yes.
His ability to run and create. If they win, it'll be his legs, kind of like when Johnny Manziel went into Tuscaloosa, ran around, made some throws. He'll need that kind of performance to win that game.
The thing to me is who can focus on the opportunity that they have and not worry about all
the results. The results and the height.
That's right.
And one more thing on the Narduzzi quote. He's not wrong. I mean, that's their path to the playoff.
I mean, they want to win this game and everything, but that is their
Now,
path to the
quickly,
playoff.
though, don't want to say it later, you lose by 100 points, though, this late in the season, and then you go on to win the ACC championship, so you get a bid. I don't know how high you're going to be ranked.
That's right. You might be behind.
That's that chaos of the 5 highest-ranked champions.
That's right. We'll break all of that
Can't
down.
lose by 100 this late.
I would not advise it at this point in the season.
That's cool.
And a special thanks to Bill Cowher for voicing that for us. There are many voices that represent football in Pittsburgh. None bigger than his. Play like a Heintschel today as you look at the great signs. Home Depot showing us the very best signs.
Rudy was offsides. Now
How
that
about
I think
that? The Patt Narduzzi sign.
You look good. You look smart. I like that.
It's a good year, proven performance in his career as the Pitt head coach. Patt Narduzzi has delivered proven performance after proven performance. 79 victories, an ACC championship, which things fall right. Maybe they can get another one of those. 31 players going into the NFL. We're delighted to be joined by the head coach of the Panthers, Patt Narduzzi. Pat, let's start with what you said that went viral this week. Somebody asked you about the importance of this being a must-win game against Notre Dame. You said rather lose by 100 and win the next two. My first reaction was, well, look, he's not wrong in terms of getting into the playoff. What was your thought process in terms of why you wanted to approach it that way in the moment?
Hey, that was Monday. Today is Saturday. 10-11. There ain't nothing more important than today. That's where we are. Hey, take the pressure off our football team. They don't need to hear a must win. They need to hear play one play at a time. Coach Saban knows that. And go out and play Pitt football today.
Hey, let's talk about Pitt football. You're a paisano. Obviously, that's good in the city of Pittsburgh. There's Italians literally everywhere.
There's a few.
Yeah, a lot
Where's my Italians pigs out there.
Okay, easy. Yeah. The Pisons are everywhere. We know it, obviously. The food is delightful. You're a hard-nosed guy. You're a tough guy. It feels like you do make effort to make the Pitt football team resemble the city of Pittsburgh in a hard-nosed, tough style. Do you agree with that, and is that something you're looking for here?
Pat, there's no question about it. It's one of the reasons I think they brought me here. Where I came from, it's about toughness. Grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. It's about tough city. And to come back here in this Steel City, you watch that video, the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Panthers, the tradition, the history of this city is where I belong.
Do you feel like that's a good descriptor of your teams, though? Tough teams, trying to fight you teams type stuff.
Absolutely. That's who we are.
Hell yeah.
Incredible to watch. Coach, incredible to watch. You're 2-2. You'd lost a couple games. Make the switch at quarterback. You've won 5 in a row. What has Mason brought to the offense and to the team these last 5 weeks? Because they've really responded. This kid's a true freshman playing beyond his years.
Yeah, Kirk, I think he's brought a lot of confidence to our offense, really. Since he's been in that game, we've either won or lost it by 30 seconds of time possession. I think that's huge. Our first 4 games, we might have got beat 3 out of 4 by 10 minutes. And when your defense is on the field for 40, one game we're on the field for 40 minutes. But what he's brought is we're moving the sticks down the field. We're sustaining drives and finishing in the end zone or kicking field goals. But that's what he's brought. He's brought confidence. He's a leader, and he's a preparer.
Did you see this when he showed up?
We do it in bowl practice. The first day of bowl practice, I'm watching him. I'm like, man, watch that guy throw the ball. Because you watch high school tape, Coach Saban, you know what that looks like. But then when you see him live and you go, whoa, you knew. But, did you know
this?
We'd be here today?
Right.
Well, I mean, even in just that walkthrough yesterday, you could feel the guy's presence. So, he's made a huge impact, and he can spin it, and he's very accurate. But what are the most critical factors for your team to be successful today against Notre Dame?
You've got to protect the ball, number one. I think the turnover ratio is number one. I think, if we protect the ball today, don't make, crazy decisions. He can't be the hero today. He likes to be the hero. You remember, Kirk, when you were a baby. He's got to protect the ball today. We got to be smart, live to play another down. Don't put our defense in a bad spot. And if we do that today, we got a really good shot.
Coach, I'm a big fan of what you guys do here as far as developing talent. Recently, I read something that said you guys were ranked #1 nationally in developing NFL players outside the top 40 recruiting classes. Why has this program consistently outperformed its recruiting rankings when it comes to developing pros?
That's good stuff. That came out, I think, in the summer on a recruiting weekend. I looked, someone texted to me while we were sitting in a presentation. I think it comes down to, number one, development.
Yeah.
But number two, the evaluations. Coach Saban can tell you how important those are. We just don't watch a highlight tape of 25 or 30 plays.
Right.
We're digging in. We're going to find out who they are as people. We bring the right character guys here that love football.
Yes.
That are, great football players that want to play in the city of Pittsburgh. The right guys.
Exactly.
Hey, you asked this crowd to get. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach. You had a football question.
Say, this guy's done more with less than any coach in the country. I do believe that. They've had great success here. And to your point, they don't get the top recruits, but they sure do a great job of developing.
Hell yeah.
The culture. They buy into the culture.
And I think that's because this head right here would run through a wall for the team if it had to. That's the Narduzzi difference. And on that note, what do you think the world's going to see from this Pitt Panther fan base? You asked them to be liquored up early because it's a noon game. I think they've showed up for you.
You guys liquored up?
Yeah. I think they've shown up for you. What are you expecting at noon out of this crowd?
I expect a loud crowd today. What we're asking for is at least 3 false starts out of Notre Dame. Can we get that done today? Let's be real loud today. Need 3. When it says get loud, get loud. I expect a great crowd today. It's going to be energetic in that stadium. Can't wait.
I love it.
It's going to be an awesome day. Pat, this is sensational. Can't wait to watch your team play the Irish today. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming to game day today.
And it's Patt Narduzzi.
Hey, hold on now, Coach. I got something for you. I heard that the paisanos that you love the most around town was down there in Crafton with the Serafinos. So the people at College GameDay asked Serafinos to bring an entire collection of every piece of pasta that they have. I believe owners here, the entire crew's here. We got meatballs, we got pasta, and we didn't know if you wanted to house this before the game or after the game. But we're very, very thankful.
Joey and Dean are going to give me a meal later on. Those are my guys right there. That looks really good. But I got to get to the locker room.
You're disrespecting the Serafino family.
I won't. I'll respect them right here.
Let's go.
All right.
Get it on my shirt.
What else you guys get over there? I don't want to get this stuff in my teeth. I'll see y'all later.
Outstanding.
These are amazing.
Take this for postgame.
Breakfast of Champions. AT&T keeping us connected as we go inside the stadium and chat with Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love, who's kind enough to join us. Jeremiah, 12 yards today, and you become just the sixth Notre Dame back to have multiple 1,000-yard seasons. I read this week you said it's hard to impress you. All right, so which of your touchdowns have you enjoyed watching back the most?
My favorite touchdown was probably Penn State last year.
Even though it's short, just powering through everybody, keep the legs moving, right?
And it was just the culmination, I feel like, of all my skills and all that type of stuff, and the will to score a touchdown no matter what.
Jeremiah, you've had such a great career. What did you focus on to get better this year, and how have you seen that pay off for you during this season?
So this year, during the off season, I kind of want to focus more on getting downhill more. I'm the type of guy that loves to make people miss, love to, go over people, love to, make spectacular plays. So a big emphasis for this season was to get north and south as much as I can so I can be more of an efficient back. And I feel like this year I've done a great job at doing that, making sure I'm getting those hard yards, converting on third down and fourth down. And that was really a big emphasis that I made to make sure I pushed in the offseason. And I feel like it's been, paying off, throughout this season.
Good for you. It shows. It shows. Congrats.
Jeremiah, we all grew up as kids trying to emulate somebody at our position that we wanted to be like. Who have you tried to mold your game after that's been a motivating factor for you to try to, be that kind of player?
So growing up, I didn't really watch football or didn't really, try to mold my game after anybody. But as of late, I would say some people that I've been watching are Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley. And, back in the day, my dad used to show me clips of Barry Sanders. I would say those three are like the three backs that I would say like I watch and I look at now to try to mold some of my gameplay after them. Like Jahmyr Gibbs, he's like, he's very explosive, very quick back. Like he's a game changer. Like, I see a lot of myself in Jahmyr, I feel like. And, whenever I'm watching him or watching his highlights or watching him play, I just try to, take some of the moves he does and try to emulate them into my game and do them, whenever it's my time to play.
Jahmyr Gibbs, a part of that stable in the backfield for the Detroit Lions, just like you have with Price in the backfield for the Notre Dame. So I love you watching his film. And let's talk about old school greats. On grass in Pittsburgh, a lot of great running backs have run the ball. You go back to Tony Dorsett, obviously Jerome Bettis, LaShawn McCoy, Chris Fuamatu Malfala. The list goes on and on. That grass, though, is ass, notoriously. Have you thought about the grass in the cleats that you're going to wear today against the Pittsburgh Panthers?
I haven't really put too much thought into it, but the equipment staff did give us some screw-in cleats, so I'll probably test those out before the game, see how they feel. If they don't feel good, I'm just going to rock my regular cleats that I wear, just make sure I got good footwork so I ain't tripping around everywhere, ain't doing nothing crazy. So do have the equipment staff giving us some gear to prepare for the field, but I'm all about comfortability, so I want to be comfortable, and probably going to end up wearing my own cleats.
Love it.
Hey, Jeremiah, you and your dad, you guys wrote this comic book. I have a two-part question. What inspired you to embark on such a project? And number two, what do you want people to get from it?
So kind of the inspiration was really I wanted to impact the game in a way I feel like nobody else has done before. Wanted to inspire, kids to be themselves, because growing up, people would, I guess people would think like I was a little bit different. Wasn't necessarily weird, wasn't necessarily all the bad words that people would say, but I was different as a kid. And growing up, I didn't really have the confidence that I needed to play the sport of football. And Jeremiah Star, my comic, is a way of trying to instill values in kids to be themselves, never give up, and just have fun, really. And the inspiration really came from my love of anime growing up and my love of comics growing up. And, what better way to get back to the game than to do it in a way that you love?
Absolutely.
Boy, you've been a superhero for this team, and we absolutely love having you on the show. You are such a credit to University and the game, Jeremiah. Wish you well today against this tough Pittsburgh defense.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, there's Jeremiah Love. And I want to tell you something. The draft is here.
Yes.
Next spring,
yes.
If that's not a draft interview, they make you say, I'll take him.
Yes,
I'll take him.
They have to respect him here in Pittsburgh because the run game is obviously so detrimental to the city of Pittsburgh and the history. I got a lot of people out here saying that he's ass. He's not. He's so good.
He's really good.
You about to find out.
Yes. Look at these playoff leverage games today for Notre Dame and Jeremiah Love. This is huge. It's really their last big test. If they win, 3/4 chance at least that they get in. If they lose, it seems like everything is lost. Moving inside Acrisure Stadium, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh getting set to square off. This great football city has been alive in anticipation of this game. The Panthers are in the thick of the ACC race. This game doesn't impact that. It most certainly impacts whether Notre Dame will make it into the college football playoff. Tremendous high stakes in Pittsburgh for both the Fighting Irish and the Panthers as they try to get a signature win, not only for themselves, but for the ACC. And these two storied programs have a world of history. In fact, it was exactly 50 years ago today that maybe the greatest Panther of them all, Tony Dorsett, ran for 303 yards against Notre Dame. That's the most for a Panther in a single game and the most ever gained against the Fighting Irish in a game. They went on to an 8-win season, and the following year, TD and company won the national championship. Dorsett had a huge impact on this program, sort of turned things all the way around as we join Jess Sim.
I wish y'all could have just seen what I just saw. We were just watching Tony do that on that small TV right above. What was going through your mind when you were looking at that?
Oh, man, it just brought back some good memories for us. Because at that time, when my class, we went into here in Pittsburgh, we didn't know if we were going to ever even get 5 wins, let alone being 10-plus team.
303 is what you were chanting, though, right? 303?
Yeah. I really did want to say that.
I wanted you to say that. We absolutely want. What do you remember about the Notre Dame Pitt rivalry?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you what I knew about it. I did not quite understand it, how we had to go. We go way up there and play them.
South Bend.
Yeah, South Bend. And it's like, come on now. But they made us get ourselves together to go to the next level.
Jerome, what do you remember about this rivalry?
It was always a special rivalry, and little did I know that I would someday be in Pittsburgh playing for the Steelers. But in those matchups, they brought the best out of us because they were a tough physical football team, and so were we.
Well, you were a player, a mentor, a fan. Now you're a parent. Your son is a freshman on Notre Dame. Is that like the biggest pinch me moment ever?
It is. It's the biggest pinch me moment, but it's also incredible for him to be playing on the same field that, I had an opportunity to play on. So it's coming full circle. And to be here as a dad, it's a different feeling, but it's one that's very special.
Well, you got a message for Steeler Nation. You got to say something to them, right?
Yes, we got a big game tomorrow on the same field. So we're going to get a Notre Dame victory this day, and tomorrow, the Steelers, we're going to get a big win against the Bengals.
Oh, I know they hate to see you coming. Rece, I'm going to try to separate them, though, because it looks like they're going to get into it right now. So back to you.
Just two of the legends. And boy, what Tony alluded to when he came to Pitt, they were really struggling at a 1-win season, and by the end of his career, national champions. Look, the Panthers are suiting up, and he's set to come out here and take on the Fighting Irish. What will be a great battle of quarterbacks. C.J. Carr of Notre Dame is going to be making just the 10th start of his career after an opening 2-game baptism of fire against Miami and Texas A&M. The schedule eased up a little bit and let C.J. Carr grow and breathe. Allowing quarterbacks or offenses to breathe, that is not what Pitt does. They're among the top teams in the nation in terms of blitz percentage. They're among the top teams in terms of sacks. They are number 1 in rush defense. Now, even if Narduzzi said they could lose by 100 and still have goals in front of them, the stage is set to take the Irish's playoff breath away. This is really going to be a significant test for Pittsburgh's young quarterback, Mason Heintschel. If we look at our DoorDash hot streak, he is 5-0 as a starter, averaging more than 300 yards per game passing. You dive into the numbers a little bit, he's had much better success against coverages other than man coverage, and Notre Dame is going to play a lot of man coverage, one would think, against him. It'll be quite a test for Heintschel and this Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah, this kid is special. Now, he was a 3-star quarterback coming out of Ohio, which goes back to kind of what Narduzzi looks for here at Pitt. His first start was week 5. They haven't lost since. In high school, this guy threw for 102 touchdowns, 8,800 yards. It feels like it's very easy for him since starting. Very comfortable. The ball comes out of his hand great, and we actually have some film here to break down exactly what I'm saying here. Now we got an empty set, okay? Middle of the field splits like a Red Sea because of all the action and crossing routes. Everybody's hoping that you're able to hang on with man. Heintschel, athletic enough to figure it all out. Man to man, everybody's covering. Now we got Broadway, open it up. And Heintschel, although he is a freshman, he's very comfortable taking it up to gut. And we talk about the rest of the team being confident. You got people decleating folks so that he can get it to the house. Yes, you talk about getting to the second level, he can take it home. Now here's a 6-man box, okay? Let's go ahead and crowd this thing. Let's not let them run, even though they got a 2-headed monster in the back. Heintschel exploring the pocket. He moves, keeps his eyes downfield, cross body, over linebacker in front of safety. This is a freshman. This is a true freshman. Now let's talk about letting it fly. Play action, obviously, is a quarterback's best friend. Didn't really help in this particular play, but his guy gets behind the defense, and Heintschel does not miss. This kid's special. He's got moxie, he's got talent, and he's only going to get better. He's really done something to this Pittsburgh football program immediately upon starting.
Yeah, I tell you what, he came here. I spoke to his OC, Cade Bell. He said, when Mason came here as a freshman, he just pretty much embraced the program, and he was always in the film room, always at the football building, and he used to get the other freshmen together. They would look at film together, and then they would go out on the field. He would conduct his own practices. I said, why are you experiencing so much success so early? He says, because of my preparation. I'm very coachable. From a young age, my parents told me to be coachable. I have to give them all the credit, and so I'm like a sponge. I just keep absorbing all sorts of information and knowledge. So when my opportunity came, I didn't have to get ready. I was ready. And he's getting this guy back today, too. Desmond Reed, I saw him at the football building, guys, yesterday. He had like that twinkle in his eye. He said Saturday afternoon is going to be special. He's been waiting for this moment. He's fast, quick, excellent lateral movement. And you guys know, Notre Dame like to play man-to-man. Who are they going to stick on number 0 one-on-one when he comes out of the backfield as a receiver?
Much more on this game coming, and boy, Pittsburgh's offense having Desmond Reed back, much more dangerous.
You want this, you got that.